It's all about getting everything right. You know what I mean? It's never just easy. It's always easier when you're younger, because I was there. I used to do great things when I was young, but...
Gout Gout, the kid who runs faster than almost anyone his age, just told the world where he's racing next, and it's going to be massive. Gout Gout is heading to the Commonwealth Games, and everyone needs to pay attention. So here's what happened. For a while, people thought Gout would skip the Commonwealth Games in 2026 because he wanted to focus on the World Junior Championships in America. Those championships happen in August, and Gout really wants to do something special there. He wants to copy what Usain Bolt did back in 2002 when Bolt won the under 2.0 title in the 200 meters, but now everything has changed. Gout's manager James Templeton just confirmed the big news. He said, "We are planning that Gout will be available to run at an event in Glasgow before going on to the World Juniors in Eugene." That means Gout is doing both competitions. He'll race at the Commonwealth Games first, then fly to America for the Junior Championships right after. This is huge for Australia. Petria Thomas is in charge of Australia's team at the Commonwealth Games, and she's super excited. She told reporters, "It's very exciting when our best athletes publicly announce their intention to be at the Games." She also said that while athletes still need to qualify officially, it's really great when the best people want to compete. Now let's talk about who Gout Gout actually is, because this teenager is breaking records left and right. He's only 17 years old and still in high school. He lives in Ipswich, which is in Queensland, Australia. His parents are from South Sudan and moved to Australia back in 2005. So, Gout was born in Australia, and now he's becoming one of the fastest teenagers on the entire planet. Here's how fast Gout runs. His best time in the 200 meters is 20.02 seconds. He set that record in Czech Republic at a race called the Ostrava Golden Spike Meet.
Gout Gout, now he's got a target. Menya moving away from him, Morizzi in the headband. A battle between these two, and Gout working so hard to get to him, and he gets there. Gout takes it by a meter and moving away, 20.04.
That time broke an Australian record that stood for 56 years. A guy named Peter Norman held the old record at 20.06 seconds since 1968. That's a really long time ago. Norman actually won a silver medal at the Olympics that year. To understand how crazy fast that is, Gout is now the second fastest under 1.8 runner ever in the 200 meters. Only one American kid named Arian Knighton has run faster at that age. Knighton ran 19.84 seconds when he was 17. And here's the really cool part. When Usain Bolt was 16 years old, he ran the 200 meters in 20.13 seconds. Gout is already faster than young Bolt was. Gout actually ran even faster one time. He hit 19.98 seconds earlier this year, which would break the 20-second barrier. But that time doesn't count as official because the wind was helping him too much that day. Still, it shows what he can do. When he's not running, Gout is just a normal teenager. He shares a bedroom with his older brother. He loves eating burgers and pizza. His favorite drink is peach iced tea. He plays video games like Fortnite, Minecraft, and Zelda. He calls himself a hard gamer and says he was gaming before he started running track. He also spends a lot of time on TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat, just like most teenagers. But when someone asked what irritates him, he couldn't really think of anything. Finally, he said, probably exams. That's because he's still in year 12 at school, which is like senior year in America. He has to take big tests called HSC exams while also training to be one of the fastest people in the world. He's even thinking about studying psychology at university after he finishes school. Now let's get to the Commonwealth Games details. These games are happening in Glasgow, Scotland from July 23rd to August 2nd in 2026. That's 10 days of competition. The games almost didn't happen at all. The Australian state of Victoria was supposed to host them, but they backed out. Then Glasgow saved the day and agreed to host a smaller version of the games. Only 10 sports will be at these games instead of the usual 19. They had to cut sports like cricket, hockey, rugby sevens, and diving to save money. About 3,000 athletes will compete for 215 gold medals. It's a lot smaller than before, but it's still going to be exciting. The big question everyone wants answered is when exactly will Gout race? Well, the schedule just came out. The 100-meter final is scheduled for Tuesday, July 28th. Then the 200-meter final, which is Gout's favorite race, happens on Friday, July 31st. That's the race everyone will be watching. The 200 meters is what Gout calls his pet event. That means it's his best race and the one he loves most. The final will happen at a stadium called Scotstoun. If Gout runs at the Commonwealth Games, he'll be doing something Usain Bolt never did. Bolt never ran an individual race at the Commonwealth Games. He only competed once in Glasgow back in 2014, and that was in the 4x100 meter relay with the Jamaican team. They won gold. But Bolt never ran the 100 or 200 meters by himself at these games. Australia is really counting on Gout to help them win lots of medals. Australia has topped the medal count at 8 of the last 9 Commonwealth Games going back to 1990. Craig Phillips runs Commonwealth Games Australia, and he said, "We have ambitions to remain top of the medal tally, which is a stated ambition of ours all the time. Even though this is a smaller games with fewer sports, Australia still wants to finish first. Australia should win a ton of swimming medals. Big names like Ariarne, Titmus, and Kaylee McEwen might compete. They both won gold medals at the Olympics. Australia is also going for back-to-back gold medals in netball, so having Gout compete just makes their medal chances even better." Let's talk about what happened at the World Championships in Tokyo just recently. This was Gout's first time competing at a major championship with all the world's best adults. He was only 17, still in high school, walking into a stadium full of Olympic champions and world record holders. Before the races started, Gout had to do a big press conference. More than 24 journalists and TV crews showed up just to talk to him. He seemed really nervous at first. When he walked out to face all the cameras, he put his hand in his pocket and gave an awkward smile. The person hosting even said it's a long walk to make him feel better. But once Gout started talking, he relaxed. He explained how his family came from South Sudan to Australia. He talked about how he has to be patient even though he's getting famous really fast. He said, "Things don't happen overnight, like, I'm only 17. He also said he wants to be someone who started off as a nobody and became someone really, really good. When the press conference ended, the CEO of Adidas, which is Gout's sponsor, came over and hugged him. He told Gout, "Well done." A guy from Adidas named Spencer Nell called Gout a precociously special talent and a fine young man. Then came race day. Gout ran his first heat on Wednesday and finished in 20.23 seconds. That was fast enough to move to the semifinals. The semifinals happened the next day on Thursday, September 18th. Gout ran in the second semifinal and finished fourth with a time of 20.36 seconds. Unfortunately, that wasn't fast enough to make the final. Only the top 3 from each semifinal automatically moved on, plus the next 2 fastest times overall. Gout just missed it.
What do you make of him as a 17-year-old?
I mean, more talented than I was. He's an amazing kid. You know, you got a great head on him. You got a great team around him. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how he develops. You know, the thing that I always look for when I'm looking at younger talent is, hey, are you just going to be able to train into shape, one? Because when you're in high school, you're able to just get like races all the time whenever you want.
But here's the thing. It had been raining earlier that day, so the track conditions weren't great, and Gout was still happy with how he did. He told reporters it was a great race. Being able to come out here in a semifinal and do my thing is pretty incredible. He also said, "I'm happy to be here and just excited." So what's next for Gout? First, he needs to finish his school exams, then he'll keep training for the Commonwealth Games. On July 31st, 2026, he'll step onto the track in Glasgow for the 200-meter final. The whole world will be watching to see if this 18-year-old can win gold and maybe even break his own Australian record. After Glasgow, he'll fly straight to Eugene, Oregon in America for the World Junior Championships. Those happen from August 5th to 9th. That's where he wants to win the 200-meter title just like Bolt did in 2002.
And Kerley's out of the blocks well again today. Fred Kerley is already into the lead. DeAndre Swint running well at 8, but here comes Kerley, and look at this massive margin. Fred Kerley, 9:76.
Fred Kerley was on top of the world. He was the fastest man alive, a world champion sprinter who could run 100 meters in just 9.76 seconds. That's faster than you can blink 10 times. He won medals at the Olympics. He beat the best runners on the planet. And he said he wanted to break the most famous record in all of sports, Usain Bolt's world record. But then everything fell apart, and what he did next, nobody saw it coming. Let's rewind back to 2022. Fred Kerley just won the World Championship. He beat everyone in Eugene, Oregon. It was the first time in over 30 years that American runners took first, second, and third place. Kerley stood on top of that podium with his teammates, and the whole world was watching. He was only 27 years old, he was getting faster, and he had big dreams.
Far side, 9.79. Hang on, I'll say that again. 9.79.
After that race, Kerley told reporters something bold. He said breaking Usain Bolt's world record was very realistic. Now, Bolt's record is 9.58 seconds. Nobody has come close to that time since 2009. Only 2 other runners in history have even gotten under 9.7 seconds. But Kerley believed he could do it. He said, "If they can do it, then why not us? I've got to continue to train right, eat right, sleep right. These small things will help me to get to the bigger goals down the line." Kerley wasn't just some guy talking big. He had already run 9.76 seconds. That made him the 6th fastest person in history. And here's the crazy part. He ran 9.76 and then 9.77 just 2 hours later at the same track meet. The man was a machine. He even talked to Usain Bolt on social media sometimes. Kerley said, "He put the bar up there for us to go and attack it. He's got the bar, we're just trying to get there." Everything seemed perfect. Kerley was winning races. He was making money. He had big sponsors. He was going to the Olympics again. The future looked bright. But then 2024 happened, and things started to go wrong. In May 2024, Kerley posted something on Twitter that got everyone excited. He wrote, "World record next time I touch the 100 meters." People went crazy. Was he really going to break Bolt's record? His next race was in New York City. Everyone was watching. But something weird happened. Kerley showed up wearing the wrong shoes. He had a contract with one shoe company, but he was wearing a different brand. Then he slipped at the start. Twice. He got mad, argued with the officials, and just walked off the track. He didn't even run the race. After that, his shoe sponsor dropped him. A few months later, Kerley went to the Paris Olympics. He won a bronze medal in the 100 meters. That's still really good, but he wanted gold. Then he ran on the relay team with 3 other Americans. But they messed up passing the baton and got disqualified. No medal at all. But the Olympics were the least of his problems. Because earlier that year, in January, Kerley got arrested in Miami Beach.
Body cam footage showing Olympic medalist Fred Kerley appearing to resist arrest late last night.
The police said he punched a police officer. They had to use a taser on him to stop him. Kerley said it was all a misunderstanding. Then in May, he got in trouble again. Police charged him with punching a woman in the face. She was another Olympic athlete, a hurdler named Alicia Johnson, who used to be his girlfriend. Kerley's lawyers said he didn't do it, but now he had 2 serious criminal charges against him. Then came the 13th of August 2025. This was the big one. The Athletics Integrity Unit made an announcement. Fred Kerley was suspended.
Olympic sprinter and 2-time medalist Fred Kerley was charged with police battery after a confrontation with officers late Thursday.
He missed 3 drug tests in 1 year. Now, this doesn't mean they caught him taking drugs, but athletes have to tell officials where they are every single day. They have to give a 1-hour window when they can be tested. If you miss 3 tests in 12 months, it's the same punishment as if you actually took drugs. Kerley could get banned for 2 years. Kerley's lawyer, Howard Jacobs, put out a statement. He said Kerley believes 1 or more of his alleged missed tests should be set aside either because he was not negligent or because the doping control officer did not do what was reasonable under the circumstances to locate him. In other words, Kerley says it wasn't his fault. Maybe the testers didn't try hard enough to find him. Maybe he gave them the right information and they still couldn't find him. Kerley posted on social media right after. He wrote, "You can try to break me in the storm, but all you're doing is giving me a better story at the finish line." He was saying he'd fight back. He was saying this wouldn't stop him, but it did stop him. He couldn't run at the World Championships in Tokyo. He couldn't compete anywhere. His career was on hold, and he's 30 years old now. For a sprinter, that's getting old. Time was running out. And then, just 1 month later, Fred Kerley made a decision that shocked the entire world of sports. On the 17th of September 2025, the Enhanced Games announced that Fred Kerley was joining them. He was the first track athlete ever to sign up. He was the first American man to join. And what are the Enhanced Games? It's a new sports competition where athletes are allowed to take performance-enhancing drugs. That's right. Steroids, growth hormones, all the stuff that's banned in the Olympics and every other real sport. The Enhanced Games says athletes can take whatever they want as long as doctors watch them. Kerley put out a statement. He said, "This now gives me the opportunity to dedicate all my energy to pushing my limits and becoming the fastest human to ever live." Let that sink in. A guy who won world championships, a guy who won Olympic medals, a guy who ran clean and beat everyone. He just signed up for a competition where everyone takes drugs. The Enhanced Games is run by an Australian businessman. They're planning their first competition in Las Vegas in May 2026. They're offering crazy amounts of money. First place gets $250,000. But here's the big one. If you break the world record in the 100 meters, you get $1 million. That's right, $1 million to run 100 meters faster than anyone ever has. And Kerley has a specific goal. On October 4, he posted on Instagram, Project 9.42 underway. He wants to run 9.42 seconds. That's 0.16 seconds faster than Usain Bolt's record. That's a huge difference in sprinting. His personal best is 9.76, so he wants to run 0.34 seconds faster than he's ever run before. He's 30 years old, which is when sprinters usually get slower, not faster. The only way to run that fast? Drugs. Lots of drugs. The reaction was immediate. Sebastian Coe is the president of World Athletics. That's the group that runs track and field around the world. He said any athlete who competes in the Enhanced Games will be banned for a long time. That means if Kerley runs in this drug competition, he can never run in the Olympics or World Championships again. Ever. Brett Clothier runs the Athletics Integrity Unit. That's the group that tests athletes for drugs. He said something even stronger. He said, among our biggest concerns is about the health of Fred Kerley and other athletes who sign up for this. It's kind of grotesque. The athletes, the people who are being signed, are being used. Even the UK Anti-Doping Commission spoke up. They called the Enhanced Games a reckless venture that could damage the integrity of world sport irrevocably. Think about what Kerley is giving up. He could fight his suspension. He could prove the missed tests were just mistakes. He could serve his time, come back, and run clean again. He's still fast enough to win, but instead, he's throwing it all away. He's burning every bridge. He's saying goodbye to the Olympics forever. He's saying goodbye to World Championships forever. No legitimate sponsor will ever work with him again. And for what? To take drugs and run fast? To break a record that nobody will recognize? To get $1 million while destroying his health and his reputation? Remember what Kerley said about gardening? He said, you have to be patient. He said, if you're not patient, you just open up. Well, he just opened up. He just threw away everything he built.
Bol coming away. It's an absolute procession. It's a glittering gold in Glasgow for Femke Bol, and look at the time!
Femke Bol had just won her second world championship. She was expected to defend her crown, and then, in an Instagram video holding an old diary, she said 8 words that stunned the track world. She was stepping away from the 400-meter hurdles forever.
Yeah, I think it's really brave and courageous, to be honest. I don't think Femke's got any experience in the middle distance at all. So to want to take that step and come into an event the last couple of years that's been like really firing, girls are running insanely fast times, I think I commend her for wanting to do that, and I wish her all the best, and I think she's got the talent to do really well in the 8.
Femke Bol announced on Friday, the 10th of October 2025, that she is switching from the 400-meter hurdles to the 800 meters. The Dutch track star made the revelation on social media through an Instagram video. She stated, I'm really excited to share the next chapter of my career. It's a big change, it's uncertain and challenging, but I'm ready to put in the work, surrounded by an amazing team, and enjoy this new journey. The video showed Bol flipping through a diary highlighting her career achievements. When she turned the page to the next chapter, it simply read, 800 meters. The announcement came less than 1 month after she won her second world championship title in the 400-meter hurdles at the Tokyo 2025 World Championships in September. Bol is the double world 400-meter hurdles champion, winning titles in 2023 and 2025. She also earned 2 Olympic bronze medals in the event at Tokyo. Her personal best of 50.95 seconds makes her the second fastest woman in history in the 400-meter hurdles. Only American Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone has run faster with a world record of 50.37 seconds. Bol set her personal best on the 14th of July 2024 at La Chaux de Fonds in Switzerland, becoming just the second athlete ever to break the 51-second barrier. Between Bol and McLaughlin-Levrone, the pair hold the 9 fastest times in history. Bol has not raced the 800 meters since her junior track days. Her previous best at the distance was 2:19.51 at age 17. The time came in 2017, 8 years before her switch announcement. As a professional athlete, her longest race has been 500 meters, where she holds the world best mark of 1:5.63 seconds, set at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix in Boston in February 2023. After that 500-meter world record performance, Bol was asked if she had ever considered moving up in distance. She replied at the time, "No, I hope not. My coach Laurent Muley has some ideas, and I'm trusting him. We are planning to stick with the hurdles." The statement from 2023 made her 2025 announcement even more surprising. However, Bol had hinted at moving up in distance at the Diamond League final in Brussels in 2024. She expressed interest in racing 600 meters against Kerley Hodgkinson after Mondo Duplantis' 100-meter race against Norway's Karsten Warholm.